Social psychology is the branch of psychology that focuses on how the social environment influences our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. The social environment is both immediate, such as the people you're talking to or the setting where you find yourself, and broad, such as the social norms that we've been accustomed to. Studies in social psychology will manipulate these environmental factors to try to bring out specific behaviors from individuals. The data that these studies provide are often used to create interventions which bring positive change in our society. If you're interested in social psychology, York offers many courses that you should consider taking. In Year 2, the course called Social Psychology is offered, which gives you a broad overview of the field. In third year, there's more specific courses that you should consider taking, such as Behaviour in Groups, Psychology of Intimate Relationships, and much more.
Clinical psychology is the branch of psychology that examines psychological problems and disorders and how to diagnose and treat them. Now, you might wonder what the difference is then between clinical psychology and psychiatry, and that's a great question. One of the main differences, apart from the postgraduate education path, is that clinical psychologists treat problems and disorders from a non-medical approach such as psychotherapy, whereas psychiatrists take a more medical approach to diagnosing and treating problems and disorders such as via medication. Clinical psychology is a field where you can simultaneously help people with mental health problems while learning more about the wonders and intricacies of psychology. An example of an approach that clinical psychologists use is psychotherapy, and specifically client-centered therapy. Client-centered therapy is when a client and a therapist work together to talk about the client's feelings and to potentially uncover some hidden reasons as to why a client is experiencing something. Apart from therapy, clinical psychologists also often conduct research in order to progress a psychological knowledge in an area. If clinical psychology interests you, here at York we offer the Counseling and Mental Health concentration. The Counseling and Mental Health concentration offers students an opportunity to obtain an in-depth understanding of clinical psychology and counseling by offering courses in areas such as Psych 2130 personality and many more.
Counseling psychology is characterized by its focus on the growth, wellness, and mental health of individuals seeking therapy. Due to their similarities, students often confuse the difference between clinical and counseling psychology. Both are interested in interviewing, testing, and treating patients with therapeutic methods. However, clinical psychologists tend to work with individuals with relatively more severe mental illnesses, whereas counseling psychologists work with populations of individuals who are emotionally struggling with their everyday problems. Some of these include issues in social relationships, life transitions, and significant life events. Counselors also take on many different approaches to treating their clients. Some of these approaches include client-centered therapy, emotionally focused therapy, psychoanalysis, and many more. They're also careful to consider the unique sociocultural factors that are unique to each client. That way, they can provide them with the therapy that is most suitable for them. If you want to explore the counseling and mental health concentration here at York, you can take courses like Personality, Developmental Psychology, and Cultural Psychology.
Personality psychology is a branch of psychology that focuses on describing, interpreting, and explaining behavioral consistencies known as personality traits. Study is aimed towards the many factors that shape and mold who we are, whether that personality is neurotic, agreeable, or anything in between. This field provides answers to various questions regarding how we think, how we feel, and how we behave as unique persons. Years of theory through psychodynamic, behavioral, humanistic, and biological approaches have responded to such questions and have also established a firm foundation for contemporary researchers to build off of. For instance, researchers Marcus and Kitayama utilize past theories to compare the personalities present within Western and Eastern cultures today. The duo demonstrated that Western parents tend to teach their children about independence, while Eastern parents tend to teach their children more about interdependence. They also proved that Westerners embody an individualistic personality, while Easterners embody more of a collectivist personality. Additionally, Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Bandura's social learning theory are just two of the many other interesting concepts that are waiting to be discovered within personality psychology. If this field interests you, consider taking Psych 2130 to learn more about the development and the dynamics of personality.
Developmental psychology is a branch of psychology studying how and why thinking, feeling, and behavior change over the course of a person's lifetime. Developmental psychology aims to answer their questions by examining family, school, cultural, and societal influences that seem relevant to a person's development. If this branch interests you, here at York University, this branch is associated with not only one, but with two concentrations. The Child and Youth Development concentration, which as the name suggests, pertains to the study of changes that occur in and as children, adolescents, and young adults grow and develop. You will learn about and explore the social, emotional, and cognitive developmental milestones that occur throughout these early in life stages. Some courses at York associated with this concentration are Abnormal Psychology, Infancy, and Development in Adolescence. The second concentration you can take at York if you are interested in the Developmental Psychology branch is the Aging and Late Life Developmental concentration. This one is all about the elderly population and their specific needs. You will obtain deep knowledge of the aging process from brain and cognitive changes to psychological and mental health aspects related with later in life development. Some courses at York associated with this concentration are Psychology of Death and Dying, Memory, and Adult Development and Aging.
Neuropsychology is a branch of psychology that looks at the interaction between cognition and behavior with the brain and nervous system from a clinical and experimental standpoint. This field is an exciting intersection between neurology, neuroanatomy, neurochemistry, and behavioral sciences, including cognitive and emotional processes. In this stream, neuropsychologists often study various cases of brain injuries and neurological disorders to better understand how the brain and the nervous system affect cognition and behavior. For instance, Phineas Gage was a case study of a patient who survived a horrific railroad accident where a metal rod went through his brain. Scientists were amazed to study how his personality had drastically changed and were able to learn more about how changes to brain structure impacted his behavior. If this field interests you, here at York, we offer the Neuropsychology concentration. This concentration offers students the chance to gain a deeper understanding of neuropsychology by taking coursework pertaining to the topics such as Psych 2240, biological basis of behavior, and many more.
Abnormal psychology focuses on the nature, causes, and treatment of mental disorders, specifically those classified in the DSM-5. This can include developmental disorders, anxiety problems, personality disorders, substance abuse, affective disorders, brain disorders, and even schizophrenia. In this field, you'll be introduced to a wide range of psychological disorders. For instance, you learn about anxiety disorders, their somatic, cognitive, emotional, and behavioral symptoms, which will help you differentiate between feeling anxious and experiencing a full-blown anxiety disorder, as well as all the different etiologies, which are explored through the lens of the biopsychosocial model, introducing biological factors, psychological factors, and interpersonal factors that could all be leading causes of anxiety disorders. You'll also learn that there are various kinds of disorders that fall under the umbrella of anxiety disorders, such as panic disorder and phobias. Finally, you'll learn about different kinds of treatment options for these disorders, which can include medication or psychological treatments and intervention. If this kind of content interests you, then you may be interested in the Neuropsychology concentration, as well as the Counseling and Mental Health concentration. Both of these concentrations require students to complete the Psych 3140 Abnormal Psychology course. However, these two concentrations differ depending on your specific interest in brain behavior or in counseling. Be sure to check these out.
In this video, I'm going to talk about quantitative psychology. Quantitative psychology is about developing new statistical and mathematical models to analyze the complex data. The research on this field is expanding into new technologies such as big data. Students and graduates on this field focus on improving research methods and developing new techniques to analyze the complex data. They might have to use a variety of software such as SPSS, which is a statistical analysis software, and R, which is a programming language to analyze the data. They might pursue career in data analysis and data science in a variety of industries. You might want to look into York applied methods and analytics, which you have to take courses in statistics, research methods, program evaluation, and psychological testing and measurement. Thank you guys.